Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Sousou no Frieren, episode number 14 reaction. Okay, the previous episode we got to meet a new character. His name is what was his name? Sign or something like that. I've forgotten his name. But obviously, like, he has joined our group, so we're going to see him again. So I'll remember his name then. Anyways, we got a new party member, I guess we could say. However, I don't think he's like a permanent member. He did say he's going to join us up until he meets his friend and he gets like some clues of him. Then he'll probably go off on his own journey and probably trying to bring him back or something like that. Either way, yeah, he is with our party now. And before he joined us, there was a few things that he had to kind of like clear up from the inside, and Frieren helped him with that. He had like a lot of things. For example, his brother was someone who he very much respected, and he remembered his brother giving up an opportunity to become like a big priest when Heiter gave him that opportunity, just for his just for him, so that he'll live with his brother and he'll stay here. So he felt bad for living on his own journey, trying to find his own dream, and that's why he didn't join his friend. And all these things he was struggling with, but in the end he resolves all of this. His brother tells him to go on his own way, and yeah, he decided that, and now he's with us. So yeah, beginning of a new not a new journey, but like continuing the old journey with new friends. So yeah, let us get started then. So this is episode number 14. Let's see what happens today. So I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here. Sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's begin. All right, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, wait. Oh, she's remembering her past. Okay. Hmm. Wait, is this the same town? Oh, wait. Or maybe it's like a. Maybe she was just remembering Himmel's words. It's not the same town. Okay. Privilege of youth. Okay. What's happening? Yeah. What's happening here? Huh. Oh. Wait, did he know? Oh my god. Or did he not know? Oh my god. Well, you are new to the you. Yeah, what are you talking about? Oh boy. This hurt my knees later. Oh boy. Oh my god. Hmm. Sitting there. Yeah, she did give him something. Hmm. Yeah. Wow. He's like, come on, what am I supposed to do here? Uh, yeah. Bruh. Hmm. Yeah, that was true. True. Wow. Yeah, that's why she said like, no, it's fine. You buy something on your own. I feel like he's already bought something. Like, true. Yeah, he knows it firsthand. Wow. He's like, ah, fine. I'm used to it. No problem. Oh boy. Okay. I'm pretty sure Stark has already bought something, or maybe not. Let's see. Oh no, he's still here. Hmm. Oh, there you go. Hmm. His face. Oh my god. Why is she on the roof? Oh my god. Nah, I'm sure they're also taking care of her. Well, um, probably Highter, I guess. Yeah. The way wow. Well, in that way, if you look at it, both of them are kind of same. Highter and Sign. Well, he was like that because he was with his friends. Like you're allowed to be a little bit, you know, immature with your friends. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to talk about this later. It's interesting how Frieren's way of looking at the world is still quite young. I'll talk about this later if I remember. Hmm. Wow, he exactly said the same thing that guy. What was his name? Kraft said. Hmm. Oh, there you go. She got one. You do not find a lady older than me. 29 years. Okay. Accessory shop. Well, he's sleeping. Oh, she's pretending that she doesn't know because they were like peeping on them. Wait, what? Come on, man. You what the hell? Yo, you're making a mess. Whoa. What in the Is that a monster? What? Oh my god. It's like cat. You're the horse. No. Yeah, but there's so many people here. Yeah. What? Okay. Mm, I can't do it since we. Oh. Can only. Oh, okay. What about Stark? Hello? Yeah. I don't think you'll die. You know, like he's quite tough. He'll probably get hurt. What? That's how he jumped down? Hmm. Oh no, that's bad. Oh no. Okay. Oh wow. All right. Well, that works, I guess. Right. So she's going to levitate it almost at the end. There you go. Right. Hopefully it works. Oh. Hey, the horse. Oh, the horse is still levitating. I thought the horse somehow got stuck on the tree or something. The horse was still levitating. Hmm. True. Hmm. Okay. What do we do? Like set up a camp for now? Yeah. Oh, where's her ring? Hmm. Oh, okay. Bah. Oh my god. Oh, that's why it took so long. Hmm. Struggle like what? What? Mirrored. Oh, wait. What was what was Frieren's ring? Oh god. Maybe she knew, but like like you cannot just assume that she didn't know. Oh my god. Oh my god. Uh, um. Oh, she's fixing the. Damn. Oh wow. Hmm. Oh, those are the bones of the. What? Yo, nah, man. I've seen a lot of weird sleeping postures. This is ridiculous. What the hell? Hmm. There you go. We've done it. Let's go. Is she trying to find? She's trying to find the ring, isn't she? Hmm. Yeah, she's trying to find the ring. It might have fallen down, while they were falling. Yeah. Okay, it had the same design. Hmm. Oh wait, does she have a scroll or something? Is that like a automatic finding scroll? Yeah, there you go. Oh wow, nice. Is it going to like? Oh, it's going to literally take her. Wow, that's a handy scroll. Oh no, she's okay. Magic shop. Well, he knew what it meant. Okay. Oh, there it is. Oh, so it kind of like makes like a marker. Oh wow. Okay. Damn. Oh wow. I wasn't expecting this. Mm. Ah, the bell. Yeah, and good thing she told them because like otherwise we wouldn't have gotten the scroll and it would have been more difficult. It was way in the distance, so they probably would have struggled to find it. It's funny how um, in the situation where like the whole contrast of the situation is that Stark didn't realize what it meant, but I'm pretty sure Fern realized what it meant. She still took it, while for Himmel and Frieren, Frieren didn't know what it meant, while Himmel knew what it meant and he brought it. So That's the whole. I'm just assuming that Fern knew what it meant. I'm not really sure. She does deny that she didn't know, but I feel like she knew what it meant. Yeah, but Stark definitely didn't know what it meant. Stark just was clueless. Yeah, but I'm just assuming that Fern knows. I might be wrong. Right, another great episode. Okay, so one thing that I was talking about, which I said I'll discuss if I remembered, I still remember. Okay, so what I was talking about is like how, Frieren, even though she has lived for so long, how they say like the more you live, the more experience you get, the more wiser you get, you become more, and like older people have a different way of looking at the world, and they're a lot more calmer and like that kind of thing. Okay, that's it. Unlike young people who like are young, who've barely started their life and everything. So so by that logic, wouldn't Frieren be the most calm of them, or be the most, I don't know, like experienced, or be the most, be the most, like her mannerism should be like an old woman? Wouldn't it be like that? But you can see that she's not like that. She's kind of like a kid. I feel like yeah, it is true that the more you grow old, the more you become more calmer. Like you saw, like Himmel, as he said, not Himmel, sorry, Heiter, he said that I'm acting to be an old like an adult, because I have responsibilities now and everything. So like I feel like there's so many, like just saying that, oh, age makes you wiser doesn't really, like doesn't really, I don't know, like doesn't really explain it. Like you cannot like really literally like say that, oh, age is why, like the more you age, the more you get responsible, the more you calm down. You cannot say it like that. I feel like fear is the biggest example of how age is not only the factor that makes you calmer and more like more responsible as an adult. It's something else. I feel like the fact that Furious age is like like lifespan is so much, comparing to that, you know in in where you are in your current life, like Finn has lived thousands of years. I'm sure he has 1,000 years more to live. So he's probably in his mid 30s or mid 20s now. I wouldn't call mid 30s. No, she's probably in her mid 20s, maybe like late 20s, according to elf age rating. I'm not really sure how elf age is measured, but looking at her, she seems like she would be in her late 20s, Frieren. And I feel like where you are in your current age scale determines how much calmer you are, how much more, I don't know, like adult you are. It's not how long you live, it's like where you are on that age scale. So even though Friend is like thousands of years, you know her mannerisms is more of like a little kid, not a little kid I would say, but like a teenager, like a young adult. Her mannerisms, she's reckless, she's very, that kind of thing. Because even though she's thousands of years of age, in her age scale, she's way like in the beginning. Unlike other people like Heiter, when they grew old, they were way lesser aged than Frieren. But Heiter, in his old age, became a lot more, I guess you could say, responsible, and a lot more, like serious, you could say, that kind of thing. Because, in his age range, he's in that range. Also, another factor is that she had to take care of Fern. That is another big factor, I think. When you have someone you're taking care of, like an actual child, you're forced to grow up, because like you have someone else who is even younger than you, like, and who cannot really do anything on their own. So even though if even if you are like someone who's not an adult, if you have a kid with you, you're forced to grow up. And I'm pretty sure that was another big reason why Heiter became a lot more adult, as like as Fern was under her under his, under his guardianship. And yeah, I think that that's like the thing, because you seen Frieren here, like Frieren is like thousands of years old. Still, she acts like a kid. That is why she has, even though she is so many years of old, in her age range she's not that old. And she doesn't have any type of big responsibility which is going to make her grow up. Fern is way more responsible than her. So, you know her journeying along with Fern, probably, we've seen, Fern literally takes care of her. So it's not that Fern is like a big responsibility to her or anything like that. It's more as if they're like friends who are working together, going on like a journey. And most of the time, Fern is the one who takes care of her. So I feel like Frieren has still the, I guess you could say, freedom and the age range to act like a like a teenager or an adult, like reckless, and do whatever she wants to, like that kind of thing. It's very interesting to see that, because all the time we say that age kind of changes you. you know Fear is an example of how age, having like age under your, like it doesn't make you any different. However, having responsibilities and like be mine. And also another thing, I feel like, this is another thing. Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking about all of this. It's very interesting to think about these things. Another thing I think is like a big factor why people become more responsible as their age grows. I feel like aging is a process which slows you down. So by slowing you down, I mean, like, the more you age, like maybe like you're in your 60s or something, you slow down in your life in every single aspect. Your body slows down, you yourself slow down. Like you start having a lot of problems. Maybe like your neck is hurting, or like your legs are hurting, you cannot move properly, which slows you down automatically. So comparing a 60-year-old and a 20-year-old, a 20-year-old is like completely like fit. Like he can run around, jump around, and do a lot of things. His life is fast, it's moving fast. However, like an old person who is 60, they're forced to slow down. And I feel like slowing down makes you so much more, like, look at the world in a very different way. The more different you look at the world, the more, like, the more slow you, like, the more slower you get, the more adult you become. In that kind of way, you age. Age actually slows you down the more you age, and that also makes you, like grow up like that, I guess, as well. So compare this with Frieren. Like I said, Frieren's age range is still in the late 20s or mid 20s. She's her days, her life is moving still in the fast road. She hasn't age hasn't slowed her down. So that is another reason why I feel like she's still a, like a very reckless kid. Her personality is like that, even though she's thousands of years of age. You know, like that is another reason, I think. Because another thing, if you think about, like, we've seen old, like, I'm sure at least know a few old people who are a lot more fit than, like, maybe some other person, like for example, like, I've seen a lot of people who are like 60, 65 year old, 70 years old, who doesn't really, looking at them, you doesn't really feel that they're old. They're like, still doing their normal things, they're very fit and healthy. And for them, you can see it, how their lives, yeah, they have slowed down considerably, considerably, comparing them to their younger ages. But even though they are old, they're still moving fast, compared to the other people who are in the same age range. you know I feel like they have a lot more childness in them than someone of the same age range whose body has started failing them. So it's literally that, the when your body slows down, when, like, you age, you become old, and you become more, like an old person. you know while if your body slows down considerably lesser and you are way more fitter than any other person in your same age range, you still have that kid in you. I've seen a lot of old people, not old, but like, middle-aged people, like 60, 65, 70 years old, who are still like very okay. They don't have any problem. They're like moving around, going there, going there. Yeah, they still have that child in them, because their life is still moving fast, that kind of thing. So if you think about it like that, I guess you can say that Frieren, that is why Frieren still has the child in her, because her in her age range, her life is moving fast, unlike elder people, older people whose life considerably slows her down. So all these reasons I feel like are why Frieren acts as a as a teenager or like a young adult, even though she's so old, you know. I don't know. And like I said, again, the lack of responsibility as well. Like responsibility makes you age a lot more quicker. When you have when you're responsible for someone, you become a way more adult quicker. Frida doesn't really have that many responsibility if you think about it. Yes, Fern does fall under her responsibility, but like I said, Fern takes care of herself most of the time, and Fern is the person who takes care of Frieren as well a lot of the time. So you cannot really say that Fern like completely depends on her. Fern is like okay, fine on her own. So you cannot really say that Fern is Frieren's responsibility in that sense. So yeah. Anyways, great episode. I just talked about. I want to talk about that. Like because I was kind of thinking like, yeah, it's very interesting. Like Frieren is so old, like has seen so many things. She's such an like her. She has such long age. So why does she still have that thing within her, that child in her? I can kind of like think of it like this. Like I said, like the whole explanation that I give. I kind of look at it in that way. Uh, right. So this episode we saw like like a little bit of the past. The first part was the whole birthday thing, and Fern kind of pouting because uh, Stark didn't buy her anything. While later on they kind of like like patch up, and then the next part was the whole what was that, the thing, the bird thing that takes them. That thing, and we get to see Himmel also gave Frieren that ring. It's obviously the name of it, the mirrored lotus or something like that it was called. And like how it was important to Frieren, and we've seen this before as well. Frieren kind of tries to, usually in these type of situations, she's a lot more like tries to, I don't know, like tries to make it as if it's not that much of a big deal, even though it's a big deal. Because you saw what she was doing. She didn't really tell anyone. She was like trying to find it on her own. She didn't want to bother others. That's what I was trying to say. She's someone who doesn't try to bother others in her own problems. Um, and like obviously, if she told everyone that, oh, this has happened, we need to stop and look for it, everyone probably would have stopped their journey to help her look for it. And she probably didn't want that happening. She didn't want others to inconvenience others because of her problems. That's why she used to sneak out at night trying to look for it. And like it was great that Fern told her that, what, just tell them, like to wait a little bit, because unless and until Frieren went and talked to them about it, she wouldn't have gotten that scroll that guy gave it to her. And it would have been way more tedious and way more like it would have taken way more time to find it, if she didn't tell anyone about it, and she didn't get that scroll. So it worked out by the end, and that part was, I wasn't really expecting that Himmel, like in the flashback, Himmel actually kind of kneeling, in front of her and putting it on her finger. I wasn't expecting that though. But yeah, like that. So that's what happened. That was a great episode, and yeah, we get to know a little bit more about Frieren's past again in this episode, and yeah, that was great. Okay, now I'm going to talk about this episode scene by scene, like I usually do in the beginning section of this episode. we get to see Frieren is walking through one of those, like, like little towns. And she kind of gets reminded of, her past, when back in the day they also walked through the, I'm guessing it was the same town, walked to the same town, and they were like also talking about the town, and looking at that place. Now she is revisiting this place with some new, like, members. She kind of gets nostalgic about it a little bit. And then we get to see Stark and Fern, like, arguing. And Fern is pissed off because, like, Stark probably forgot to give her like a gift or something. This is quite funny. Like, um, what can I say? Like, it's just Fern's personality is something that I like. At least this side of her was something that I never really expected of her. Like, looking at her in the first glance, looking at her at the first glance, you can see that Fern is someone who always keeps to herself, doesn't really talk much. Like, yeah, like, and very wise, keeps, very, like, calm and like cool. And seeing her like that, you would assume that she is someone who wouldn't really be like, like, wouldn't really act like this. But she actually, like, she's very clear cut about everything, which is very interesting. Like I said, these type of characters, I've seen a lot of these type of characters in anime. They always keep things to themselves, even when they are bothered by something, they keep it to themselves, and they don't really talk about it. So, like, looking at Fern, you would expect that Fern would probably be someone who would be like, oh, yeah, it's my birthday, like, and if Stark would, and if Stark would said something like, oh, I forgot to buy you something, she would be like, oh, it's fine, no problem. And even though inside she would feel bad and sad, she probably would have said something like that. That is what I would assume, looking at her personality from the outside. But you can see how opposite it is. Like, I'm pretty sure Stark told her that I didn't buy you something or forgot, and she got pissed off. She probably said something like, "Oh, I bought something for you, and you forgot about like, my birthday. Like, what the hell?" And Fern, like, and Stark started getting angry. Stark is like, "Oh, you don't, like, you always talk to me like this, like, like, do you hate me or something? Like, I'm going back to my master," and he like leaves. So that's very interesting. Like I said, I like looking at Fern, you would assume she would keep everything to herself. That's the type of personality she seems like. But she's literally the opposite. She's very, I guess you could say, very vocal about whatever she thinks. She doesn't keep anything to herself. Anything that bothers her or anything that she doesn't like, she's literally going to say that on top of the other person's face. She doesn't care what the other person thinks. She's just going to say it. Like, be it with Frieren, be it with Stark, be it with what's his name? Oh my god, I forgot his name again. The new priest guy, I forgot his name. So yeah, like, that's like who she is. It's very funny to see that, because there's like such a contrast between the way she acts, like her personality, her always keeping quiet and everything, and the way she, like acts with her friends in these type of situations. It's quite funny, seeing her like very expressionless face, like pouting in anger. Pouting in anger. You see, like, all the time you see Fern, you see her face completely expressionless. But now she's like all pouting, and she's like, "What the hell? Like, Stark, you didn't buy me anything." Oh my god. And Sign. Oh, I think that's his name, isn't it? Sign or something like that. And he comes in and he's like, "What's happening here?" And after he's like hears what's going on, he's like, "Ah, come on, like, cut him some slack, like." Like, we don't really, like, we men forget about stuff like that. And he just starts talking about like stuff. What does he say? Just a minute. Okay, where is it? All right. um I think you got too far today. You didn't hear anything Stark had to say. Where is that part where he says that? Oh, here we go. "I haven't prepared anything either. You see, men are creatures that don't care for small things. Wow. And friend gets even more pissed off. He just kicks him. Oh my god. And and he's like, yeah, you know what? You kind of went. I feel like you went a bit too far with him. Like old men like me, if you give us the cold shoulder, we're fine with it. I guess we're used to it. But young people like Stark, they'll take it seriously. So like I feel like you should go and like look for him. And you can see Fern feels bad now, like obviously. And yeah, and he goes to the plaza and sees that Stark is just sitting there. And she was going to ask him about and apologize, but she didn't get the courage to do that. So she goes back to Sign, and Sign's like like picking something for like Fern, and here they kind of have a little conversation. So okay, Sign says you pick whatever you like, and but Fern says like, oh no, it's fine. You can pick what you like. Um, right. So here, after that, he asks Fern, like, like what exactly happened, like why did you snap so much, like the details. And she says, like, oh, I gave him a present on my birthday, like, like, and he forgot mine. And we went together to buy it. That's what she says. And yeah, so here is where Sign says a few things, which is very interesting. He says that normally people wouldn't refuse if you tell them that you'll buy something they like, and that was a precious memory for you. That is why you refused. Yeah, so he says that, yeah, I just told you that, yeah, you can buy, like, pick something, but you said it's fine. That means that you rate, like that is like a special memory for you, so you wouldn't want, that to be replaced with something like this. So that is why you refused my offer for, like choosing something that you want to buy. So he kind of explains that to her and says, like says all these things. Obviously Fern is like, I don't know, like, if that's the case, but either way, he says that, yeah, like, even if you don't understand, it is pretty obvious that it was like a, like a special occasion for you, that, like, that whole thing when you bought it for him, when he chose the thing that you bought for him in his birthday. So yeah, like, just, like, go and talk to him. um and to convey your feelings, you must express them in words. And it's very interesting that he's the one who says that, because, like, he was the one who actually struggled with that as well in front of his brother. And with Frieren's push, he was able to express all of his feelings to his brother. So now he's saying, telling Fern that, oh, you do the same as well. And yeah, they say goodbye. And here, I'm pretty sure that Fern, not Fern, but Stark was just waiting there, thinking about how to apologize to Fern. And when Fern comes in front of him trying to apologize, he also apologizes at the same time. And you know, Fern apologizes for going too far, and like Stark apologizes for, like, not buying the gift. So Stark here says that, you know what, like, I actually didn't know what to buy you, so I thought, like, I would ask you to go with me and pick whatever you like. But I thought that maybe you'll get mad at me for that. That's why I wasn't able to tell you. And Fern is like, come on, like, like, I won't do that. Let's go. And she apologizes, and then they are off. I love how Frieren is just keeping an eye on them from the roof. Oh my god. And yeah, Sign was also there. Okay, so here we go. Here is where Sign says this, which made me think of all of these things about Frieren's age and how she acts. This is the dialogue which made me think about that. The thing that I was discussing in the first part of the discussion. Science says, these kind of things are the privilege of you. Okay, wait a minute. Let me go back a little bit before that. Okay, looks like they managed to make up. And then science says, once you become an adult, you'll understand how to read the distance between people and you'll be able to avoid conflicts. Um, these kind of things are the privilege of youth. It must be hard for you all the time, Frieren. Taking care of two kids must be a pain. And Frieren says, what do you mean by the distance between people? And then he says, oh my god, there are three kids in the group. This conversation made me think about all of that, about how Frieren, like I said, the way Frieren acts is still like a kid or like a teenager or like a young adult. She's reckless. She doesn't understand, as science says, she doesn't understand like all the intricacies of connection, human communication and connection, and that is why like they clash. But as they grow older, as they gain experience, they're able to get out of conflict better. That is why these type of things doesn't happen, and that's why he says like these are the privilege of youth. And if you think about it, it is true. Like when we're younger, I'm sure like everyone must have had like fights and arguments with their friends. They fight, they like get angry, they're like, I'm never going to talk to you. And then 2 or 3 days later they come back and like again talk to you, that kind of thing. Like I'm sure everyone has gone through all of that, but all these things starts to diminish as you grow older and older. And science is correct. The way more you grow older, you're able to properly gauge the distance and avoid conflict. So these are kind of like the privilege of youth. And that's why he says like it must be difficult for you to take care of two children, isn't it, Freer? And Frieren says, what do you mean by like distance within the and he's like, oh my god, we have three kids here. So yeah, this whole conversation made me think like, why is Frieren like, even though she's so old, why does her personality still like a kid? And that is why I kind of talked about all of that in the beginning part of the episode. That this statement made me think about all of that. um Right, and here he kind of says that I wonder who Fern is comparing me to, and this is where what's his name? Her name. Frieren says like, oh, she's probably like comparing you to Heiter, because like you're kind of similar to Heiter. You're more corrupted than Heiter. You're more depraved than Heiter. And yeah, and he says, wow, the Heiter I remember, like wasn't like that. He was a like ideal adult. And this is when Frieren again remembers, like when Heiter was old, when he talked to Heiter. And Frieren asked the same thing to him. Frieren was like, oh, you seem a lot different now. You seem a lot older, or, like and more like an adult. And this is where he says, like, where's that part? I would like to say that, but my heart barely changed from when I was a child. I simply pretend to be an adult that I look up to and continue to do it over again and again. I'm sure I'm going to pretend doing this until the day I die. Children needs adults who will provide for them with emotional support, especially ones like Fern who try their hardest. And this is what I said, responsibility made him grow up. And yeah, this is another factor why Frieren still has the child in her and she can act like that. She still doesn't really have that much responsibility or that big responsibility. Heiter had a big responsibility, and that made him change and become an adult, or as he says, at least pretend to be an adult. And 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 Frieren says like, who's going to praise you for acting like an adult, up until you die? And she's like, okay, I'm going to do that. If Heiter does say that, I doubt he Elf would like understand my feeling, but he still does it either way, like starts patting him in the head. And yeah, and Heiter also says that, what, like when I go to heaven, I'll talk to the goddess and I'll tell the goddess to praise you as well. Again, like he said the same thing that Kraft said. When Kraft said about like the goddess will praise him when he goes to heaven. So if you think about it like that, you could say that Kraft is in the last range of his like age. Like the range I said, the age range, like the scale in which you are. Frieren is probably in the first part, in like the late 20s or mid 20s. While if you think about it like that, the way Kraft acted, where he said that, oh, like, like the goddess is going to praise me and everything, I would like to guess that he's probably in an elf, like, age range. He's probably in his 50s. That's what I think, at least. At like mid 50s, at least. You know. And that would mean he's way, way, way more older than Frieren. Probably like 2 or 3 thousand more years older than Frieren. I don't know. These are all like speculations and guesses I'm making. Because the way he talked, you can say that he has seen a lot, and his age range is probably in that, like the mid 50s or something. Unlike Frieren, who's probably in her mid 20s, according to an elf, like age range. Um, Anyways, and you can see Frieren does the same to Sign as well, and Sign is like, oh my god, it would have been so better if this was an older lady doing it to me. And Frieren is like, oh, then that's great news because you won't find anyone older than me. And then they bought the bracelet for, um, Stark brought the bracelet for Frieren. Okay, then the next part we get to see they are off on like a little, like a carriage ride, and they're going from one place to another. And here Frieren sees the bracelet that Frieren is wearing, and she's like, oh wait, I feel like I have the same design, with me, like Himmel gave it to me. And she's trying to find out, and she cannot find it. She's like making a mess of the whole place, but then she finally finds it. But when she finds it, the bird comes and grabs the whole thing, and it drops from her hand. And I'm pretty sure this is where it dropped. Like it probably went out of the whole carriage and fell down. Either way, the bird is like carrying the whole thing. So they're like, what should we do? So they're thinking about how to do, like, how to take care of this situation. And they're like, can't we just, like fly out everyone from here? But Frieren says it's not possible because, like it hasn't been long that we have learned how to fly. Before that, sky was the domain of demons and monsters. Flying magic mankind uses is copied from demons, magical techniques, and Stark is like, tell me how I can understand. Easy. Dumb it down. And she says, I'm saying I cannot do it since we use this magic without understanding how it works. There you go. So she's like, yeah, so I don't know the logic behind, like how it works. I just copy what other monsters and they're doing. So I don't know the fundamental way of using it. So that is why she's like, we cannot do that. So they think like, well, how to do. They're like, okay, like Frieren is like, I'm going to take care of the merchant. You Frieren will take Sign, while you Stark just jump down. Stark is like, the hell, I cannot just jump down. And then, like she talks about how Eisen used to do it, and Frieren is like, come on, like like that was like you cannot expect Stark to do the same. So they're like, okay, so what do we do? And then they come up with another plan, is where like in the very end she'll make the whole thing levitate, but it's going to like take a lot of control on everything, otherwise they'll all get squashed. But not enough time is left. The bird is going to throw them down. So Frieren quickly goes out and like deals with the bird, and then the carriage falls, and in the end she probably lowers the like levitates it. And you know what's funny? The horse was floating, and I thought the horse got struck on a tree. No, it was floating. Frieren made sure that the horse didn't fall down, otherwise it would have completely died. So Frieren especially made sure that the horse didn't bash into the ground. That's why it was floating. So yeah. So the horse was fine, but the cart is destroyed. So they're like, okay, let's fix this up. So for a few days after that, they start fixing it up. And Frieren keeps trying to find the ring, but she cannot. And yeah, so here Sign asks Fern that, oh, like that bracelet, where did you get that? And she's like, oh, this is like like Stark bought it for me. And then Stark and Sign kind of grabs Stark in kind of in his shoulder, and he's like, ah, that must have been tough, Stark. 3 hours of like continuously browsing, things to give to her. And Stark is like, yeah, man, like, like they just like, and he's like, I kept spending 3 hours looking at her and trying to gauge whether she would like it or not. But then he was like, you know what? But in the end, it was worth it. At least she was happy. Um, so here is where Sign is like, oh, do you know the meaning of the bracelet? And he says it means, in foul language, it means eternal love. It's called like the mirrored lotus or something. And Stark is like, oh, I'm sorry for, like, I didn't know that, like, that was the thing. I mean, we can change it, like, if we want to. And Friend is like, no, like, there's no need for that. Like, I'm plenty happy with this. You picked this thing for me wholeheartedly. Don't say that thing again. I love how Sign is just smirking, and Friend is like, the hell are you looking at? Like, what is it? You have something to tell to me? And he's like, it's fine. Like I said, yeah, I'm pretty sure, what's his name? Stark didn't know what it meant. I feel like Friend knew what it meant. Just like how Himmel knew what it meant when he gave it to Frieren. Anyways, so you can see like every night Frieren goes out trying to find the ring, but she cannot. So the final day, the cart is fixed again, and at night she's out again looking for it. And Friend is like, what's going on? What are you doing? And she says like, oh, the ring. And Friend is like, oh, so let us stop for a while. Like, even though the cart is fixed, let us stop. But Frieren is like, oh no, I don't want to bother, like, you guys with that thing. And he's like, and she's like, and like, that's not the only thing that Himmel gave to me, so it's fine. But Friend said like, but I'm sure it is like precious to you. Do you know the meaning of that? It means eternal love. And Frieren's like, oh really? I didn't know that. She's like, it still is fine, I doubt Himmel would have knew what it meant. But Friend is like, no, but still, it must be important to you. Just go and tell them, And Frieren does that, and the guy, the one who was like driving the cart, he's like, oh, like, good thing you told me, like, here we go. I was going to give this to you either way. Just scroll, it'll help you find the thing. And there you go. She uses that, and like, so it's like literally like a video game, like, map marker where if you use the scroll, the the location of the thing is automatically going to be marked in the map, that kind of thing. The Friend goes up and looks around, and she sees the mark. And while doing all of this, she remembers the past. In the past, Himmel brought Frieren in front of like a vendor, and he was like, you did a great job in your last mission, so let me buy something for you. What do you want? And Frieren was like, oh, so then this one, and just picks one randomly. Himmel sees that, and it's pretty obvious. You can see that Himmel realized, like, as soon as he saw it. And he's like, oh, so you bought this, like, chose this one. It's fine. And Frieren kind of remembers that. And I feel like Frieren here probably realized that, oh, Himmel probably knew what it meant. Because you can see this part where she was thinking. This part especially shows Himmel looking at the ring and him kind of looking at it at first in surprise. And then he was like, oh, okay. And Frieren is thinking about this. And, like, Frieren probably realized, like, that, oh, maybe Himmel knew. I don't know, this is just a guess. Either way, she saws the ring and she goes and grabs it. And again, a little bit of the past flashback. You see Himmel was like, had it, and like, Frieren was like, oh, give it to me then. And Himmel goes and like, kneels in front of her and puts it on her finger. Yeah, there you go. And obviously Frieren was very surprised by this, and yeah, and she remembers it now. She looks at the ring and she remembers it. And then Frieren, like, keeps it with her, and Frieren is like, oh, speaking of which, why are you wearing a mirrored lotus bracelet, Frieren? And Frieren is like, oh, because Stark is an idiot. Right, and that's where it ended. Great episode. We get to see a little bit more of Frieren's past, and yeah, there you go. So that was it. That was my reaction to episode number 14 of Sousou no Frieren. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel or you haven't subscribed, comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that Is it? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode of Sousou no Frieren. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.